Hello, everyone. We are back and we are live for real this time. And Candice and I are here with Tammy, Jaydon's mom, just for a short update because there's been a major development since the last time, about 10 days ago, that we got together and talked about Jaydon's disappearance. There's been a development, so we're here to talk about that.
How are you ladies tonight? Jazz, I think Tammy's still muted.
She is. She is.
Yeah. There we go. Sorry.
There we go. We got her back now.
There.
Yeah, so we wanted to give everybody an update. First of all, thank everybody for their support for sharing Jaydon's face everywhere. So there's been a huge development with the family through their diligent and hard work. They have been able to obtain Jaydon's physical phone through a series of, well, weird circumstances. So Tammy, with that, I will let you fill us in on that.
Okay, so it started with being able to access Jaydon's voicemails, and we were able to figure out his password, get his voicemails, and we realized that there was almost 50 voicemails that had not been checked. So I went through all of these voicemails, and all of them, except for 2 of them, were specifically for Jaydon from friends and family. But the 2 were meant for the person who actually had the phone. And so we were able to...
You guys don't have audio.
It says we don't have audio. Someone told me we don't have audio.
No, we can hear you.
You can? Okay, somebody just said they didn't have audio. They weren't hearing anything. But okay.
Let's see what Pat says. If you can hear us, type something in the chat.
We are good. Is that it? No?
Yeah, I can hear too. I have my my phone. Oh, I can hear fine. Yeah, they're saying they can hear.
Okay.
We're good to go.
Okay, so back to the 2 of those voicemails were intended for the people who actually had the phone. So I mentioned in the last one that we did have Jaydon's the numbers that were being used from Jaydon's phone. His dad actually carried him on that plan, and so we were able to access all the numbers. So throughout this period, I've been calling all of these numbers that have been using Jaydon's phone and trying just to track anybody, talk to anybody. So we were able to put the voicemail with the phone number together and get a hold of this person who actually, it's kind of a weird story. When I contacted this person, they actually were with the person who had his phone at the time. So I informed them that this is actually a missing person's phone. I gave her photographs of Jaydon. I was able to tell her a little rundown of what they were doing on Jaydon's phone, and this person seemed very surprised. They thought that this was just a normal phone that this person had, and so she decided to take the phone from this person and mail it to me. And when I got the phone back, and unfortunately the phone was locked, and we have not been able to access anything. Even through, there's been a lot of phone calls that have happened on this phone. I can't even answer it. This phone, however it's set up, I can't even answer a phone call on it either when it's ringing.
So the other part of this is the people who had the phone had informed Tammy that they had not erased anything of Jaydon's text messages, phone calls. They were on his Facebook. They were going live on everything. So the people using the phone kept all of Jaydon's information, yet when they sent it back to Tammy, it was locked. And a lot of people think you can just walk into a cellular store and say, hey, this is a missing person case, or this is that, or something weird's going on, and it's Jaydon's father who owns a phone account, that they will just unlock it. And that is 100% not the case. It has to be unlocked and obtained by law enforcement agency through a search warrant The only other way to unlock it is to erase all the data and put it back to factory reset, which is why we really want Las Vegas Metro to take serious the phone, how the phone moved from Aurora to where it ended up in Oakland, then being mailed back, where the phone slept at night, the RTT data. Some people call it historical data. And Tammy, you were told one other thing. What else were you told it was called?
CDR.
CDR, yeah. So there's all kinds of different things that people call that this data is. In our son's case, we knew it as RTT. But the fact of the matter is it cannot in any way be obtained without a search warrant from law enforcement. So now with Tammy having the phone, it's scary to turn it over to law enforcement where they haven't actually opened a case. And that's what we're looking for through awareness. There's so many unanswered questions and so much little pieces of this that does not add up. It's not just a simple case of a walk away adult. And now having the phone, and even if we could get into it, right, Tam, if we could get into it and even just see what the texts were,
but there may be a clue. There may be something of him.
A picture.
Anything. I know he documented things. He videoed things. So, and the fact that Las Vegas Metro has known about the nefarious things that these people have been doing since the phone turned on the 23rd. Actually, it was the 25th is when they started doing the nefarious. It turned on October 23rd, but then on the 25th, that's when they really started to roll, and we knew for 100% that it wasn't Jaydon.
Right.
And yes, and I've turned over all of that information to them to just to see, do these people have anything to it? To me, we have a missing person, and we have a missing person's phone with people who are using the phone for nefarious reasons. They have threatened my other son. They have told us multiple times that they know all about us. They knew that Jaydon was missing, and the fact that I was told that the phone has no relevance to his case. And I was told that I need to just forget about the phone, and I was also told that unless they were to send me a text message with somebody tied up with a bag over their head, they're not going to do anything. And then, maybe they would do something if that was the case. It's frustrating to me when you have, when you give them all of this information and they still deem him as a runaway, which, and that's another, issue is how did that happen? If anything, it's more evidence that he's not a runaway since this case has gone on, that they have had. And it just seems like they're just not interested at all.
Well, they need to open an actual investigation. Right now, the problem with Tammy and her family's fight is Jaydon is an adult runaway. For a little blip on the radar, he was considered an endangered adult. They took that away. Then they called him, a runaway. Now the phone's coming back. So there's a whole bunch of things that could be looked at right now that could lead to some answers. And honestly, it takes 20 minutes to get a search warrant for a phone. You get the search warrant, yeah, it takes a little bit longer. It can take a couple weeks to get all the data back from the cell company, but it's a simple blip of a minute of printing out the form and asking the judge to have it signed and submitting it. It doesn't take time. And I always go back to if this was their 28-year-old son, would they do it? Would they go in and get that search warrant for their son?
Yeah.
And there is not an officer or detective that you can ask that, and trust me, I've asked many over the last 18 months that can look you square in the eye and say, no, I wouldn't do that. And so our children need to be treated the exact same as what law enforcement would treat theirs. And I think they tend to forget that. They just want to kind of shove it under the rug. And that's what we're looking for in Jaydon's case, is awareness from the public. Share. Hey, the phone, Tammy and I have talked and agonized and talked some more over, do you turn the phone over to the police? Well, no. And as we've discussed, Tammy, we turn it over to the police. Nothing will ever be done with it. Nothing will ever be seen. And they don't need the physical phone to pull the data off of it. So keep it until we can get what we can get off of it, or they actually open an investigation and look into Jaden's disappearance. That's got to happen.
And that's just to bring up back to the people who had his phone. This is another thing too, as they've changed their story 3 times on how they received Jaden's phone. To me, that's right there. That's a red flag. When you can't give a straight answer on how you received that phone, and law enforcement knows this, and it's still, so there's too many things that are in his case, not just with the phone. There's other things too that they know about and they're just dismissing. And so as far as what you were saying, no, I am not going to turn over this phone to Metro because I don't have the trust that they're going to do anything with it. And I need to know that we clear this phone to where it's not connected. But right now, I don't know that. It may be connected.
Well, the phone, I mean, it was Jaden's phone, right? It was just like Dylan's was Dylan's phone. And look what came off of that. Your phone is, we leave our house without our cell phones and we all turn around in our car and go home and get it. Mm-hmm. We don't just say, oh, it's okay, we'll go to the grocery store and leave it on the counter. No. We turn around and we go get that phone. So the phone kind of holds your little life story into it anymore. I mean, my laptop's the same way. You'll never catch me anywhere without it. I'll turn around and get my laptop too. So it tells a big story, and that's kind of the blanks we need filled in with Jaden is from when we last had the sighting of him at the O'Connell Lodge to where the phone ends up in Oakland. Could there be pictures on that phone of Jaden in Oakland? There could be, if we could get into it. If we had the help and the warrant to get into it, right? There could be something that says, holy smokes, Jaden was in Oakland. We need to focus over there and forget Colorado. But without the help of being able to obtain that information from law enforcement, we end up deleting the phone, and because these people sent it back with the passcode on it. And that is so strange. Why would you mail this desperate mom's son's phone back to her, but put a passcode on it? That makes no sense to me.
Exactly. And you mentioned too, like his phone, traveling to Oakland. So his phone was off for 23 days, but from the 28th to the 30th, there was that day and a half, almost 2 days where Jaden's phone was on, but there was no movement from Jaden past the 28th. So was there movement with the phone between the 28th and the 30th to Oakland? Those are the things that we need to know too. What happened to, that's 1,250 miles that we don't know how that phone got there, because, we don't even know if Jaden even made it to the Bay Area. He was like 25 miles away. Oakland is 25 miles away from his original destination.
Right.
So, and Metro knows that too. They know that all of these things were kind of, what's the word I'm looking for? Like suspicious, and so we need to know the order of how that phone got there. Was it Jaden that took it there? I'm kind of, wondering why you wouldn't use your phone for the 2 days that it was on if you had your phone. I can't even imagine not using my phone for 2 days and it being on.
No, I don't think any of us can. I know 6-year-olds who have phones that can't go 2 days without using them. Like, it's what our society is now. You always have them and you're always on them. Even just to flip it up. Yeah. Well, just to flip it up to make sure, swipe up and make sure you didn't miss anything. Like, wow, my phone's been quiet. I better make sure I didn't. That's just what we all do now. That's just how it is.
And especially if you have travel plans, you're in a city you've never been in, traveling, 1,215 miles, I would think that you would use some sort of, GPS or something, bus station, something to figure out. And that's where that phone is a link. Was there something on there? I don't know.
So we're hoping with some awareness with the Sun and there's some other agencies that I've got to know, some reporters really well that are going to reach out to their affiliates in Las Vegas. We're hoping to really get Las Vegas Metro to stand up and pay attention. We say it all the time, there's power in numbers, and we've got to get them to actually open an investigation on this, get a warrant for the phone, and then try to move forward in getting what we need. Yeah, Tammy, you went up the chain of command. Here's the problem. So Tammy and I have talked in depth about this, and today especially. So I'm going to give everybody some insight to what I have learned. Agency that has control of a case, there is no going above their head. You can't go to the FBI. You can't go to the state police. I mean, you can go to them all you want, but the agency that has control of the case, and right now you got to remember, this is not a criminal case. This is a missing persons case is what they're calling it. You cannot take it and say, hey, I want Metro to release this and I want the Nevada State Police to have it, or the FBI, and the FBI wouldn't even come in anywhere on this case. We learned that the hard way. Jaz, how many letters were sent, do you think? How many phone calls? I mean, we
had thousands and thousands of phone calls, emails, postcards.
We basically shut down the state of Utah. And we found out that is not how it works. They have to be invited, and they're not going to invite, Metro's not going to invite somebody on what they consider a missing persons case. So as a family, you got to scream loud enough to turn it in to an investigation and into a criminal case. And then hopefully another agency will offer assistance and Metro will say, yes, come in. We don't want anything to do with this crazy lady who keeps screaming about her son right now. Right? Like, we're fine being the crazy ladies. That's not a problem. But it just doesn't work that way. Unfortunately, you can't go above a law enforcement agency's head. It is what it is. It's a shame, but it is.
So what about above the person's head that you're speaking with? Like a supervisor, or is that anything?
Yeah.
I have done that. Yes. I have reached out and I have spoke to people in law enforcement that are above the detectives, and the outcome was pretty much the same. I mean, it was, and I do know that Metro has been trying to get Aurora to take this case. And I do agree that Aurora should take this case because that was Jaydon's last proof of life was in Aurora. So
they should work jointly. Nobody should just have the case. They should work jointly on awareness.
Yes, and that has not happened. But Aurora has completely dismissed anything that has to do with his case. So, but as far as they need to, I agree, because we have 3 states that we're dealing with, right. And so how do you not work jointly when you have nefarious things that could be in both 2 different states? We have the Oakland phone, and then we also have the guy that was following out of the Econo Lodge. There was nothing done with that one either. And so how do we know that those people don't have anything to do? We don't know because nobody's checking it out.
Right. So I've been working with some of the affiliates with Fox News and ABC Missing in Utah, the gal who took that over, getting in touch with the people who run those stations in Vegas to try to get that out. It's hard because it's for our local stations. Like, we're hoping enough with getting the phone back is going to be enough for them to air this, because unfortunately, this is such an epidemic in our country of missing adults. If they do one, there's thousands behind it, right? It's just not right. There should be just a news channel dedicated to missing adults. I mean, not taking anything away from children, they get on top of that, but it's something for people like us to go when your child is an adult and they're like, whatever. He was 19. Oh, he was 28. Oh, he was 25. It's so, yeah, we are working on that. And I told Tammy I've been dealing with that. I'm hoping getting the phone back is going to be enough for them to say, hey, there might be a story here, because unfortunately the news, they want a story. They want a catch point.
And
it's sad.
I was told by a news agency and Metro themselves that basically what you were saying, Candice, but they have him deemed as a runaway. Right. So if you have somebody, I don't understand this. How could he be listed in NCIC as an endangered missing person, and then all of a sudden now he's a runaway? And so that's what's being told too, is there's no story here. He's just a runaway, which is not, I don't know where they're getting their information from, because there's nothing in here that would suggest that he's just a runaway.
Well, I don't know how an adult can run away anyways.
Yeah.
I don't understand that term. What is an adult runaway? I mean, yeah. It doesn't make sense. But that is our focus, is keep everybody updated. Keep everybody who's following Jaden's story, please keep sharing it. The more people we get out there, the more eyeballs we have on Jaden's face. We never know when somebody might say, hey, I came across this kiddo. I seen him, or wow, there's a picture of him in somewhere. I was in Oakland or Aurora and he's in the background. Like, that stuff actually happens.
It does happen.
It happens. And so the more his face is out there and the more this story is out there, the more attention we're going to get, and get Tammy and her family the help that they need to get the answers. One way or the other, we got to get the answers.
Yeah,
that's exactly what matters.
Yep, exactly. And you know what, I said it in the last one and I say it again, I appreciate so much all the time that's being put into sharing his flyers and just constantly trying to help in any way everybody that does this. And that's exactly what Candice says. That's the more his face gets out, I keep saying, eventually someone knows something. There's someone out there that knows something. And so I don't know when it's going to come, but it won't come if we aren't sharing and his face isn't getting out there, so I'm trying to be diligent every single day. I'm trying to do everything that I can in my power to figure out what happened to him. But unfortunately, I need law enforcement's help, period. I need them. And right now we're not getting the answers that we need. So, did we lose Candice?
No, I'm here. I just had to get a charger and I made my dogs mad. That happens. I know we're about to wrap up, but I was just about to cut off Dad.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, there are so many stories of how people have been found or located based upon social media sharing. And so every platform that you have, if you just keep sharing, and I see that Arctic Fox is in the comments, and he has done a video on Jaden, and he said he's going to do another one. And we certainly always appreciate Arctic Fox because he does some really good videos.
Yeah, we need to throw that out on page Jaz.
The video that he did?
Yeah. Is it on there?
It is on there. It's on Jaden's page. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I must have missed it.
Yeah. Yeah. He does good videos. He does. He doesn't, there's never anything that is not factual in his videos. So I can give him a big thumbs up for that. They're full of information. So yeah, we appreciate that.
Yes.
Well, until then, we just wanted to update everybody, and we are going to keep working diligently with Tammy. And, I've been calling in since last Thursday to Metro to try to talk to somebody, and it's just ghosted. Which I knew would happen. I mean, I had no big shocker to it, but I just document the calls, and if and when there comes a time when we need to do something like we did in Dylan's case, and we will do it. If that's what it takes, we are giving them the opportunity, and Tammy's been more than patient with them, more than patient. So if it, we got to make them look bad in the public eye, because this is, I mean, it's not making them look bad. They're doing that themselves, and it's not against law enforcement or bashing them or nothing like that. It's just, there is definitely some pinpoints in this case that needs to be visited and stood up and paid attention to see if we can help find Jaydon.
Yeah, exactly. And you know what? And I think about there's no way that they would sleep at night if this was their child, knowing that all of the things that are happening in his case and that are not being checked out. As a mom, I can't sleep knowing that there are so many things that are not being followed up on. And you know what? I'm not gonna, like I said in the last one, I'm not gonna stop. I'm always going to be working to figure out what we can do, and whatever it takes, that's what I'm willing to do. You know what? That's just what you do.
Yep, exactly. So we will end it on that note. We don't want to keep anybody too long, and as soon as we have another update, and we'll let you know, and follow the page. And Jaz, thank you for
share out this video everywhere on all your platforms. Please share it out so that maybe the phone will ring a bell somehow with somebody, and more information will come. You never know. But please just share, and thank you for supporting Tammy and Jaydon's family.
Yes, thank you very much.
Okay, we will see everybody later. Have a good evening.
All right.
Bye.
Bye. Thank you.